Okay, so the show is started and we're fighting already. So
Yeah,
anyway,
I know. And you promised that you weren't going to yell at any
I
audience members,
I
so
did. Oh, I did. I'm not
I'm
going to
going to
yell
keep
at.
you to that.
I wasn't.
Yeah, we'll just turn your channel off. You'll be
Yeah.
canceled.
You don't.
Canceled.
You can't cancel me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Captain YouTube.
No one can stop me. Anyway, hi everybody. Welcome to the
Hi,
Ensigns log live
everyone.
stream.
Hello.
This is your gig. You're the one that's
So
used to
we're
it.
yes, because you were such a newcomer to this YouTube thing.
I'm a noob.
You
I don't
know,
know anything about YouTube.
you forget so quickly.
They,
You
they,
know?
they make a channel for you and call it NoobTube.
Noob tube. You noob. Yeah, so one of the things that Duralta Trekkie in the chat, for some reason making a Superman reference, which for a Star Trek stream seems a little bit of an odd choice.
Well, I mean, last night, just continuity between last night and tonight.
I guess.
See, Mac, I think you should just ditch work.
Okay, he's already ruined it. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Ensigns Log Live. This is our end of Season 3 live Q&A, where you guys can ask us questions about the show, and we'll provide answers.
Yeah.
Except for Steve,
what's
who will go on a weird Superman tangent, which seems to be happening more and more on all of his live shows.
He answered, okay? It's a thing.
So anyway, yeah, this is and we will talk about, obviously we just finished season 3 and we've got season 4 coming out, which we don't I guess we can tease things, but we won't give anything away because,
Steve dies
in the first episode.
off mic
before
we start.
I'm not actually in the show anymore.
Oh, no, we talked about that. Yeah, we're getting rid of you.
Oh, I was just
sorry.
joking.
You were invited, but
Okay, and already we're getting the troll questions.
Oh, good. I like the troll questions.
Well, I mean, not really. Duralta Trekkie's a good dude, but the question is, how long does it take to write and film an episode of the Ensign's log?
Oh?
Well, okay, so usually our script writing process starts 3 years in advance, which is just basically me throwing away Steve's scripts. And then eventually I see an idea in it, and then we develop it, and that takes 6 months, right? We go into seclusion
Easily.
in a log cabin.
It's like making an animated movie. It's like a multi-year process.
No, there's no writing process, and it takes us about an hour.
The recording
around
usually takes about an hour
to record.
But
And
then all
then-
the bullshit that happens first.
Yeah.
So
all the Dermot Strong, Dana's worried about what she's going to be doing. And
because I don't have a character. Like, you guys have characters, and then you do the extra stuff. All I know is, okay, you guys are going to be doing something, and then I'll play other people.
Mhm.
But you will.
No, always. I'm like, Jason, do you have any ideas about, the show that's coming up in 2 days? You'll be like, not really.
Yeah. The truth is that at that point I probably have about 5 ideas for what the show that we're going to do, and I'm narrowing it down until we get closer to it. But I'm willing to throw out all of my ideas for whatever happens during the improvisation.
Right.
If something's going in a way that I like, I'll try to nudge the improv in the direction that suddenly came up, and I think that's usually the funniest idea out of the bunch. But no, we don't. It takes about an hour for us to record, more or less.
Yeah.
And then along with chit chat, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then it takes me about 7 to 8 hours to produce the show. Because basically what happens is they send me all of their recordings. All of us are recording our own feeds to get the best quality from the recording. I then have to stitch them together. It can be problematic because the timing, the record speed on everybody's is a little bit different. So I have to chop it up a bit, move everything so we don't get echo. Then I have to find all of the sound effects. And my favorite episodes are ones where we don't go anywhere, we never leave the room, and we never get any comms. Those are my favorite episodes.
Because you can edit those.
Yeah, those are quick and easy. That's when I do any voice modulating, You know, if I need to find sound effects that don't exist in the Star Trek sound canon, that's where I'll either find them or make them myself. And then, so it can take anywhere between 6 and 8 hours to finish up the podcast. So by the time I'm done, I've probably listened to it about 12 times.
Yeah.
Which is the reason why I have a better memory for the episodes than Steve, who doesn't listen to the show at all.
I usually listen to each episode once.
Okay.
Yeah. I do listen to our show. I love it too much not to listen to it. I'm usually the main reason that I mean, other than just because I enjoy the work that we do, but like there have been so many times when we've recorded a show and it's been so much fun when we recorded it. And then I've had the sort of like the insecurity afterwards where I'm like, was that actually a good show? Or was that just a fun show to record? You know, so I listened back to the finished episode to sort of reassure myself, like, oh no, it was actually good. You know, it wasn't just that I was having a good time recording it.
Okay. How about you, Dana?
What about me?
What about you?
How long does it take me to record an episode? I mean,
no, I mean, you know, do you listen to the show?
Yes, I do now. I didn't when I first joined because I was just like, oh God, I can't. Although it's easier to listen to my voice than it is to watch my videos.
Yeah, that's true.
And the voice. And it's just like,
I'm much more comfortable recording my voice than I am like doing this live. I mean, Steve wants everyone to see his face.
Yeah, it's true. I can't relate to that.
Like this is like once it's done, it's done. Like I've already done it. So like I don't go back and watch the live stream, you know, because I'm, I'm interacting with the people that chat at the time. And then that's it. So like with a video that I've like recorded and then put up, because I don't have live streams on my channel because it's like itty bitty and it's a baby channel. And then, or with the podcast that gets recorded and put up, then it's like, oh, then I have to think about it later and go back to it and be like, okay, oh boy. So the live stuff is very much, I don't know, and I've done live theater, so it's kind of like that. It's like, okay, once it's over, ta-da! And if it's not, well, thank God it's over. And if it was great, then people tell you how great it was. So it's, it's everybody wins.
Yay.
Siamak in the chat asks, what are our plans to make Baby as Armus canon?
Actually, they asked, what are your plans, Steve? So please,
what are my plans?
Well, what your plans are to make Armus canon.
Canon in terms of Star Trek? Well, I'm gonna buy Viacom CBS and take personal control of the Star Trek intellectual property. I'm going to say, guess what? The Ensign's log is canon. and
it's my dream that we get a call from CBS because everyone is starting to hate their shows. And no, I'm just kidding.
You're not one of those fans now.
I'm not.
You don't like the new shows as much as I do, but you're not one of those miserable like fandom menace pricks.
Yeah. And they say, hey, we want to make Ensigns Live a 10 episode series. Here's money. That would be like the first thing that would be included in that series is the Baby Armus storyline, definitely. So if you're asking, is Armus going to make another appearance? Yes. We're going to we are going to see Armus again.
Probably more than one.
No, we set up that storyline and gave Baby that resolution for no reason whatsoever.
Does that have a reason?
I mean, like we could have resolved the Baby storyline literally any way we wanted. We turned him into an evil oil slick and dropped him on a planet
in the past,
so that he would have plenty of time to get even worse
and more crazy. Yeah. Okay. Question man.
Come on.
I saw another one in the chat.
We've seen lots of things in the chat.
I know. 255 AD says, if we count the original episode being written as part of the process, couldn't we say that it takes about 55 years to write each episode?
Yeah, there you go.
Not anymore, though, because we're jumping shows now, but We could say it takes about 25 or 30 years, I guess.
In fact, you could say the better we get at it, the shorter the process is, if you think about it.
Seal0626 says, will you refer to animated series events as if we just didn't happen to hear about them in the previous seasons?
I'm going to try to put, if I can, more references to the animated series, since we're not going to be doing the animated series as part of the show proper. I'm going to try to see if we can't get more references from the animated so that it becomes canon for our show. Because I know that some people want our show to be canon, which is great. I would love for our show to be canon, but just for the canon for our show, I would love to be able to start pulling references from the animated series. It's just, which ones am I going to try to pull? I don't know myself.
I mean, I've had, go ahead.
I said we don't know until we get there. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had an idea that like we could be in the first sort of in the opening episodes of the next season, that we could sort of be, we could always do the thing where we're like looking things up, and like, do you realize that after we left the Enterprise, there was a guy on there with 3 arms? It's weird, right?
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. There's a normal Spock and there's a 50-foot tall Spock somewhere.
That's real, right? That's a real thing. So wait a minute. Spock went back in time with the Guardian of Forever and changed history, and that was completely fine.
They're just not asking questions.
No. 255 AD is catching up. Wait, are you in the TNG era now? Because that's when I planned to finally start listening. Damn, what?
Yes, we're going to be... Okay, fine. We'll announce it. When we come back from the hiatus, we are going to be in TNG.
Yeah.
We kind of dropped that hint in the last
episode. Yeah, it's not...
But since 225 AD wasn't listening, how would they get that? So
that's harsh, man.
Yeah.
I'll finally start listening to your stupid Star Trek podcast now that you're in God, you've really been waiting that long for us to start dealing with TNG season 1?
People have their favorites, I guess.
I guess.
Doesn't bother me. It seems to bother Steve.
It bothers me so
tell
deeply.
me, Steven.
What seems to be the trouble?
What seems to be the problem with you having people who don't want to listen to the show because it's not the series that they like?
It's our show. People shouldn't listen to it. I told you not to release it to the public. The 255 AD says, I never watched TOS, so I don't get the jokes.
Yeah, we kind of strayed from I would only say maybe about 1/8 of the jokes are tied directly to the episode. It depends on the episode.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So
Radical Bacon wants to know if we're going to complain about the season 1 uniforms.
I plan to.
I think one of us needs to get back surgery before the end of the
season. I noticed that CLO626 says that Tina is an android and wants to know if she'll catch up to Tina. Don't forget, Tina is an iguana.
Yes, inside
Tina is an iguana inside of an android body.
Yes.
Tina's dead.
I see one from Robert Mills.
Huh.
Jason, will you be able to control Steve's Riker obsession? No.
Are you mean in real life or on the show?
The only way that I have any control over that is with a delete button, which I hope not to have to employ all the time.
All the time?
Steve understands that he'll be playing a character and not himself.
That's right.
Not himself.
Fanboying over Riker.
Since people know my real life appreciation for Riker, it might be funny if my character just doesn't like him at all.
Yeah.
Which is like, have you seen this Riker guy? Like, I mean, what a dick, right? Walking around like he owns the place. He's not the captain.
Hey, jealousy.
Stop naming songs from my playlist. Lisa suggests that my character should wear the Skort uniform. Are you reading my mind? I actually thought that might be a funny gag.
I thought that too.
Yeah.
That you want the skort.
That I would see it and I'd be like, it's really freeing. You should try it. There are way more uniform options in this century.
Some random geek.
Yeah. Speaking of troll questions.
Is an Ensign's log like role-playing and improv? Much like Dungeons and Dragons. Okay.
Trying to bully me into liking role-playing games, which of course is definitely going to work.
The way is we're going to have to trick them. I'm going to have to say, okay, we're going to have a special recording of Ensign's log that I want to get out at a particular time. I've just mailed you some things that we're definitely going to need in order to record. And you'll be like, why do I need weird dice for this? And I'll be like, shut up.
Just do as you're told.
Do it.
Look at these shapy things. And you're like, they're not dice. And he's like, I didn't say they were dice. And he was like, well, they're not, okay? They just happen to be polyhedral plastic shapes with numbers on them. Totally just
not dice though.
Exactly, not dice.
Not dice. Polyhedral shapes with numbers on them, but not dice.
Francois Lacomas, exactly at what point did TNG D&D see what you did? TND did Ensign's log arrive. We arrived before Farpoint.
Right. Like, so it was, we didn't make it explicit in that little scene at the end of the episode, but is the ship sort of like, it's like still in dry dock maybe before they depart on the start of the mission?
Right.
Yeah. Or space dock, I guess. Not dry dock. Space dock. It's Star Trek. They're in space.
It's still dry.
It's space is dry, yeah.
How come we're having to find questions in the chat and you're not doing it? You said this was something that you were going to do. And
would you ever do a show where your background character is on DS9? Asks Aaron Alexander.
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Would we ever do a show where we are background characters on DS9?
It's the only thing that I've been looking forward to.
And someone else, someone else earlier, I noticed someone else said when we were talking about like, oh, now that they're into TNG, I'll start listening. And someone said, wake me up when they get to DS9. Mm-hmm. We'll wake you up in a few more years. We're not going to get there quite yet.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm going to let you guys know, because there's 7 years of TNG. We're not doing 7 years of the Ensign's log on the Enterprise. We're going to be. I'm go through, find episodes, but I'm going to truncate it. And there is going to be a period of time, if you guys remember, when DS9 and TNG overlapped.
Yeah.
And so we have to decide if we're going to leave with Miles O'Brien, or if we're going to split them up so that one is still on the Enterprise and the other one is on DS9. And that might actually get us into DS9 even earlier than we anticipated. The fun part is if we're still doing this, how in the hell we're going to get to Voyager, but we'll figure that out. And we're going to push that back as far as we possibly can.
Maybe we can, like your character will move to DS9 and Dana's regular character will say she's staying on the Enterprise, but then we'll decide last minute to leave and go to Deep Space Nine too. So my character is stuck on the Enterprise by himself.
Yeah, I was planning on just leaving you on the Enterprise by yourself, and go
I'm
to
like,
DS9.
God, can I come to DS9 with you, please?
It's pretty dour here.
It's not good though.
Nothing's fun. The captain always looks like he's on the verge of tears or yelling at somebody.
Sometimes both.
Yeah.
Radical Bacon just says, do a Voyager episode? Like just randomly?
Just randomly do it?
Oh, see, I was thinking you just condense all of Voyager into like one episode.
There is one episode that I'm looking forward to doing more than anything else, and that is the Tribbles episode from DS9.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Our characters would love that.
Yeah, kind of. Your character would love it. Mine wouldn't, but... Are we missing questions? Because I keep seeing questions.
I'm going back.
Seeing them.
I thought you were a pro. You do this like every week, Steve.
I swear to God. Okay, this is a good one. I think I know the answer to this one, but maybe not.
Okay.
Norman Bookwell says, "How are we going to handle the episode Code of Honor?"
Oh God,
skip it. Since we're not doing every episode from season 1, just be like,
I
no.
have toyed with the idea that the main confusion because it'll be if we do it, it'll be one of those background things where we talk, where we say we've seen the aliens from the alien planet. We don't, but we're like, are they actually aliens? They just look like people. Aren't those just people?
Well, that was one of, because Dana, when you and I were talking a few weeks ago about what your new regular character is going to be on the show. I don't think I ever mentioned this to you, and it's kind of like, it's a really like inside Star Trek joke, but like, instead of saying that your character, because I think we decided you decided what species your character is going to be, but and
let's not talk about things that are going to be appearing.
I know, but I had the idea that, like, instead of being, half something and half human, like, you could be half something and half one of the many, many aliens in Star Trek that are just completely indistinguishable from humans.
Wait. Did you have that idea?
I thought I had that idea. Did you have that idea?
I thought I had that idea.
I thought I had that idea.
Steve has already taken credit for one of my ideas.
Well, but it's not even the idea that she's using. I don't think your character is not going to be part human, is it?
Because it's a point of connection with.
I want her to be half human, half tribal. I want her to be just a huge genetic mess that comes into the door.
Listen, but which half?
She's constantly having babies.
Near as I can figure, she was born pregnant.
Yeah, I can't wait for Up the Long Ladder either. That'll be great.
Up the Long Ladder is one of several episodes from the first couple years of the show that is not terribly well regarded. That's the colony of Irish farmers of Irish stereotypes is beamed aboard this ship. And Riker gets laid.
Yeah,
Riker gets laid with one of them Irish farmers. You know what I'm saying?
Robert Mills asks, "Is the Ensign's Q?
Go ahead.
Is the Ensign's Q friends with TNG's and Voyager's Q?" Well, all the Qs know each other. I mean, they recognize each other immediately, but friends? I don't know. In my head canon, I think our Q told TNG's Q about Starfleet. But that's just in my head canon. I don't think I'm going to make that present in the show. Oh, another question I found instead of Steve. 255 AD asks.
I was about to read this one.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay. On Women at Warp, one of the hosts on Women at Warp decided to call the race from Code of Honor the worst Wakandans. Maybe you could steal that.
I don't want to call anybody a Wakandan, because the minute we do that, we're now deep into Disney Marvel territory. So no, I don't want to mix my fandoms up. Maybe we'll save that for that superhero podcast that we're going to do.
Oh yeah. Serendum Geek asks, aren't Qs just wizards? Well, as we know from The Simpsons, anytime anything unexpected or unexplained happens on a show, a wizard did it. So,
Yeah.
So yes, Qs are just wizards.
I mean, but that's sort of, diminishes them to say that they're just wizards. I mean, really, it's a little rude.
Yeah. How dare you diminish wizards? Exactly. They're not represented enough in culture as it is, and here you are they're just wizards.
Just wizards.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Bell asks, is Naked Now going to be a bad case of deja vu for the Ensigns?
Yes.
That could be that could be a fun one. Yeah, because it's literally the exact same plot. They said, let's do a TNG episode we'll just do a TOS episode.
I know Arcane Flame. There was a TNG X-Men comic. I know.
Oh man, yeah. I don't think. Yeah, that's a rabbit hole. If we start going down that, if we start including like comic book crossovers I mean, you know, we could do anything we wanted. We could bring in the fucking Green Lanterns. We could bring in Superman. Like, you know, there. I mean,
he goes right back to DC. You notice that?
Well, okay, well, or X-Men, but but that's something because the Star Trek comic book license has sort of gone from DC had it for a while, Marvel had it for a while, so and like they both companies when they first got it, like they did crossovers with it, because they were like, it's our toy now, we get to play with it.
Okay.
Radical Bacon asking another question, just totally designed to alienate me and irritate me. How would Q play D&D?
Oh, how would Q play? Oh, that would be the greatest D&D session ever, because he'd put you right in it.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. I don't know how fair of a GM he would be, though.
Not.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever he wanted to happen would.
You know who I would want to play D&D with? Trelane. He'd be fun, and he'd want to be one of the He'd be want to be one of the party instead of the GM.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, you know what? We hurt his feelings. God damn it.
No, he didn't hurt my feelings. You didn't hurt my feelings.
We haven't irritated him nearly enough. This is nothing.
I know.
Francois Lacombe asks, will the ensigns be court-martialed for being AWOL for all this time?
We're not answering questions for season 4.
That's a yes.
Well, but that's like he's asking about the in between.
Well, but it would happen on the show, though, presumably.
Right, fair enough.
Like,
or you could not like you could have.
If you think about it, 2 crew members disappearing while the ship is in flight would just become another one of those things.
That happens so often, yeah.
They're like,
they would check the records. They would see, there was no shuttlecraft left. No one used the transporter. They just chalk it up to mysterious space happenings, and we just disappeared.
Yep.
So the likelihood that we would be charged. Who knows? Different Starfleet when we travel. So
yeah. A couple of questions about Move Along Home, actually, which is the next episode of DS9 that Dana and I are watching on our watch along series. Duralta Trekkie says, you don't like to play D&D and yet you like Move Along Home. Yeah, because that's not playing D&D. That's watching a TV show. See how they're different?
Nope.
See, here's how they're different. Steve can do one while sitting in his underwear all by himself.
Exactly.
And the other one is social.
I'm glad you understand.
Has to be in his underwear sitting with other people.
Yeah, and that's just that can get awkward,
I did CMAC, don't worry about it because I still have no idea what you're talking about. So it's like D&D in some way, but I have no idea what way. So I guess maybe that's something that I'll figure out as we watch the episode. So whatever.
See, I guess it's all.
I'm gonna nip this in the bud right here. Some random geek just asked a whole thing about technobabble instead of Old English and Vulcans instead of elves. That is literally something that Steve and I talked about off mic at some point when I either really wanted to make him feel bad or I just wanted to do something that has no point at all because I knew I wasn't changing any mind at all. And Steve was like, no.
Do we want to acknowledge Robert Mills's question, or do we want to keep the inside
what is Robert
joke?
Mills's question?
Well, it's about one of your favorite inside jokes from last season about Jason and the child that he fathered when he was back in the 30s for 7 years.
It's official canon for our show.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah, I don't. Yes. I mean,
yes.
I don't.
Which means
I don't want to underline
it. Which means
it, though,
that he is an 8th Vulcan. That means Jack Nicholson is an 8th.
Which explains the eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
And the extreme personality, if you think about
it. And the love of basketball, because everybody knows Vulcans are huge round ball fans. I mean, they're crazy. I don't know.
DS9 taught us that they like baseball.
They do like. Well, they like more than one sport.
It's the statistics
that
they like.
To manufacture triumph. Yeah, people are going on about, okay, like I get that Vulcans are like elves. I get that because of the ears. But I mean, do you think I give a shit?
Well, the highbrow culture and the internalized emotions, but the depth of feeling that they don't really show. It goes beyond just the pointy ears.
You know what? You know why I like Vulcans better? Because they're not in 4-hour long movies.
No, that
are boring wastes of time.
They're in 9 to 10 hour long movies chopped up into a series
that I can watch an hour at a time.
About an old man who can barely move.
All you gotta do is press the pause button. It's not that hard.
Oh, pressing pause buttons. God, now you got me working.
Oh, wait, that wasn't a Vulcan. That was a Romulan.
The makeup is inconsistent. Sometimes they have shit on their foreheads and sometimes they just have the ears. It's weird. I don't know. Who cares? Francois Lacombe asks, how did Dana become part of the show?
It's Steve's fault.
Yeah,
Steve brought her in.
We begged her. We said, please.
Please.
Actually, I think I was yelling at Steve for not having. I'm like, it's like your channel is like very dude. I mean, like there's guys and there's a few ladies around here and there, but it's few and far between. And
yeah,
then the Ensign's log and the movie podcast and more dudes. He's like, well, you could join us. I'm like, it's not your show, genius.
Technically, it's just 2 dudes.
Yeah, but like in combination, like with the other stuff that he was doing at the time, and then just he tends to have a lot of male fans, and so it just sort of snowballed from there. So I also hassled him about the interview show as well.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it made sense for you to come on. It made sense, I thought, for you to join the podcast because we had been, we've wanted to have a woman join the cast for a long time anyway. I mean, Jason's talked about that for years. And, you and I, obviously, we go back a long way. We know each other. We have good chemistry together. You have experience in theater. You're a great performer. You're quick on your feet. So we figured you'd be good at improv. I mean, it just sort of made sense,
And then, if it had sucked, you could just, say, okay, thanks, bye. And then just like.
Actually, Steve will ask me to do that part just in case.
I can't do it, man. You have to tell her.
No, I mean, just like not tell me. And then just, after I'm gone and you guys are going to do the movie podcast, just re-record the show without me. Ta-da!
She doesn't even listen to the show. We can re-record it. She won't ever have to know. Radical Bacon, this is a good question to you, Jason, says, do you think that acting training needs to have an emotional support component?
Depends on the person. Depends on the actor. I'm really good at compartmentalizing when I'm playing a role and when, I've never done movies or TV. I've only done stage. Most of the roles I play are relatively broad. So I've never had a risk of over connecting with the part that I've been playing, but I think that's a risk for whatever role you're playing if you're an actor and you need that in order to give a good performance. I don't personally need one, but then again, I've never been given a role where that has been particularly challenging for me. And maybe I'll reverse it and say yes if I ever perform a role that is, deeply emotional, heavily psychological, and I've put a lot of work into, getting into the character, then I might change my mind and say, yes, I do need that. But it's always the individual. For some people, it's like putting on a coat. You put on a coat, you're the character for however long you're playing it. You take it off when you leave the theater. Makeup helps. Makeup and costume helps a lot, even if it's just a change in your street clothes. Mm-hmm. I usually, when I'm in a play, I'll never be fully into character until I'm all the way into makeup and costume, and that's when I get the character in, and then it's hard to get me out while I'm in costume. So, it really depends on the person.
Yeah. What about you, Dana? You've acted on stage? What's your process like in terms of getting into and out of character?
Not so much with the makeup and costume. Makeup and costume is fun, but that's like a separate thing. I can for me, sometimes it's fun to like slip into the character when I'm not like looking like the character and just have it come through just through mannerisms and, you know, speech patterns and things like that. That's a lot of fun. But I think that our awareness of what we look like has a strong influence on how we present ourselves. And it definitely has an effect. And then as far as emotional support, I don't know. It's really, I mean, because like as a teacher, that is, heck, especially this year, that has been a job that has required a lot of emotional support. So I don't think acting has required any, if anything, has required less emotional support than that. So because, you know, in acting, I get close to my characters and I get close to the other, I mean, acting is also like, it's so temporary. Like you work with people a lot and you get close to them and then the show's over and you're not with them anymore. And, you know, sometimes you stay in touch and sometimes you don't. And, you know, that's another challenge. But it's not real. And man, especially this year, it's been so hard because I've got some students who show up a couple of times in several weeks. And I'm just like, I called parents and I leave a message and I let the guidance counselors know that I haven't seen these students in a while and they're not showing up virtually. And I hope everything's okay. And that's real. Yeah. With acting, thank God. I've played some characters that have, you know, I like playing bad guys. It's fun. And I can be really harsh on, you know, I can say things and do things that I would never allow myself to say or do in real life. And it's kind of cathartic. Just like let it all out. But I've never felt the you know, like Jason talks about over connecting, because it's like it's play. So I don't, you know, I approach that differently. And a lot of it also has to do with if it's not like a solo piece, with the, you know, the interaction with the other people, as well as the vibe, of course, once you've got an audience, and it's not just rehearsal, the vibe you get from the audience, all that, it just all comes together in the magic of theater.
We have a question from Jesse West Bateman. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, which I will be
Thank you, Jesse West Bateman.
Which I will be keeping 100% of.
That's right. Steve keeps 100% of the profits for any of the super chat questions during this.
He's all doing a bang-up
job,
pocket.
Isn't he? Staying on top of the questions.
And the ad revenue, too.
And the ad revenue, too, baby.
Worth every penny.
Will the Ensign's Log do any episodes that take place during any of the movies, like Star Trek V, also known as my favorite late seating review? Very nice. Thank you.
I have had some thoughts about this. And of course, I didn't discuss it with Steve. It's my fucking show. Anyway.
Here's what we're doing. You're going to do as I tell you.
But I'm thinking about doing special, technically non-canon episodes of the Ensign's Log that take place during the movies that will be a Patreon only.
That's neat.
A Patreon only kind of bonus.
Ooh.
I can dig it. That could be a lot of fun. 255 AD has asked this question a couple of times, and I've missed it because I'm doing such a bad job, I guess.
Who said that? I just said you were doing a terrific job.
Well, you said he wasn't doing his job, so we didn't say he was doing a bad job.
No. You have to do the job first
before
we can make a judgment about whether you're doing a good or bad job of it.
I gotcha. 255 AD says, do you need to watch a thing to get a podcast making fun of it? I like god-awful movies, but you have to actually watch the shitty Christian movies to get everything. I don't think, I mean, I feel like if you watch Star Trek, you'll get more from our show, but I get it's not really absolutely necessary.
I would like to point out that you don't have to watch the show to do the podcast.
Very true. Very true.
Although sometimes it helps because there was somebody came along and said, how, Lenore doesn't sound anything like she does. Her voice has changed. I'm like, what are they talking about? I'm doing the same voice I've always done. And then you guys were like, she was a character on the show, Dana. I was like, oh, I got it. That's what they meant. Whoops.
Mullet asks, this is for you, Jason. You were saying that being in costume helps you get into character. Do you wear a Trek shirt or something when you do the Ensign's log?
I'm always wearing a Trek shirt.
You
no,
sleep
I
in
don't. One of the greatest things about doing a podcast is that it's literally theater of the mind for the most part. You can do anything, you can say anything. And because it's basically radio, all you really need are sound effects. So I don't usually wear something to get into the headspace for my character on Ensign's log, because we've been doing it for so long at this point. It's just like stepping into it. As soon as we hit record, as soon as I say hello and welcome to the Ensign's log, by the time I finish that sentence, I'm fully Jason on the show. If I needed to wear a costume, I'd wear it, but I don't necessarily need it for this, because one of the things about a costume that helps you out a lot is physicality when you're performing on stage. It can really affect how your character stands, moves, and interacts with the world. So in this case, you're seeing what I do when we record it. I just literally lean into my microphone and talk to these two yahoos, and then we have a show at the end of it. And so I don't usually get dressed up. But I will say this, if I could reverse my camera, you guys would see a huge amount of Star Trek props and models and, things like that. So it's not far away from me at any point.
I have this.
Oh, she takes notes.
Who am I this week? Oh God, what do they sound like? I have to do this character again. What did she sound like last time?
Right.
Oh God.
And like particular lines that you need to make sure to say for story stuff. And yeah, I know. I will see, for me, because when we started the show, our characters, especially my character, was basically me, and the Steve on the show is not as much like the real me as he was at the very beginning, because the character sort of moved on and evolved. And, every time you make a joke, it becomes a part of the character, so but at the beginning, I mean, there really didn't, like Jason just said about having all the memorabilia and stuff on his desk. Like, I mean, I am like a walking encyclopedia of Star Trek. I know a shit ton about it. I love it.
You have every character staring at you right now behind you.
Exactly. Exactly. And
so Batman and Catwoman.
And Batman and Catwoman, yeah. So, I mean, it's not like it took me a whole lot to get into a Star Trek headspace. Like, and Jason, when you we've mentioned this, I think, in every live stream that we've done about the show now. I mean, when you pitched the show to me, it was like, of course I'm going to say yes. Like, what universe is it when I'm not going to say, when my best friend says, you want to do a Star Trek podcast? We'll play characters on the Enterprise.
Universe.
Yeah, the Zack Snyder universe is when I would. But yeah, so I mean, it didn't take a whole lot for me to get into character in the beginning, and now because we've been doing the show for so long, it's natural. Like, I feel like I know the guy, so I don't need. It's just you slip right into it. I mean, Dana, you're the one who's really had the challenge, because you weren't really a Star Trek fan going into the show. And also you didn't have, this season that we're about to start, that we haven't even started recording yet, is going to be the first one where you will have a consistent recurring character. Like, you've been sort of just playing whoever we needed you to play for an episode.
Hence the notes.
Yeah.
Dr. Hannah, the worst Scottish accent ever. Rigelian fever is apparently very serious, in all caps. Like, all this stuff. I'm like, knowing the names of things. I definitely NCC 1701D. Where are we? Which one is this?
Yes.
I mean, y'all know that kind of thing. I'm just like, what is it? I have to write it down. To write it down, okay? Or I'm not gonna know. And I know people are gonna. In fact, no, people actually won't say anything about it because she'll be like, "We need to go back. You need to say it this way." It's actually
So, in case anyone wanted to know how the show goes, if anyone makes a horrible canon destroying either for the show or no, Steve's done it plenty.
I've done it a couple of times. Sure, yeah.
You did it with the Shives and just worked it in.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
If I can't immediately think of a way, if it's something that's uncorrectable within the podcast, within the improv, I will stop and say, no, that didn't happen. So we're going to go back and we're going to try to fix it.
Yeah. But I remember the most recent time that I did it was a couple episodes ago when I said something that our characters don't actually know. Like it's something that we know as creators, but that our characters don't actually know. And you had to stop me and say, "Oh, they don't know that," and we had to go back and do that line over. But yeah, stuff like that happens a lot. Yeah.
I'm the guardian at the end of bad improv.
Oh, and speaking of improv, Lisa Garrison asked, I noticed she's asked a couple of times, how much of the show is scripted and how much is improv?
None is scripted.
It's total improv.
Well, this is my script, guys. This is
so basically what I'll do is I'll come up with an idea, a general idea for what's going to happen in the next episode. All of it is in my head. I don't write it down or arc it or script it together. It just kind of happens to. I know that certain things need to happen, and I try to kind of guess where they could happen within the timeline of the show. Usually, I tell Steve nothing. We just when we're talking right beforehand, I said, okay, what I would like to happen is this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen, and I give Dana a little bit more time because she needs it. So she needs it. I'll give her a couple of days with the ideas that I'm having, and then we record it. And like I said before, if I see it going in another direction that I think is funnier or more interesting, then I'll push us towards that direction, or just give the note inside to say, Steve, react this way, or Dana, react this way. This is basically what you need to do.
It's the funniest thing you've ever heard, or it's the most horrifying thing.
And then those parts just get edited out of the sound stream. Yeah. And what I also edit out is my dog's tap dancing in the background. If I can get any other sound out, I'll try to get it out. And laughing because we'll often say something.
Yeah.
The really funny lines that you guys hear is usually the second time we recorded it, because sometimes we will start laughing while the words are coming out of our mouth.
Oh yeah, that happens fairly frequently. Yeah. 255 AD asks, will we have our characters get sent back in time to join the NX-01 crew at some point?
Sure, when I'm 75, great. Yeah,
if we're still doing the show, we've gotten to the point where Enterprise is the next show. Or you want to keep doing it? Sure. Arcane Flame asks, is eating in the shower a real life Steve thing or a character?
Yes, it is. He's missed recording dates because he bought himself a big ham, and I know that. Oh God, we're not going to have Steve today because I can see on Skype he just went to the Stuckey's, bought a big ham, and I'm like, great. He's not coming out of the shower until he's done. Until that thing is a bone.
It's the best way to eat a whole ham. You don't have to slice it. You don't have to plate it. You just take it.
It cuts the salt down.
It's great.
So practical.
Thank you, Dana. It's very practical.
Practical.
Duralta Trekkie asks, how would a Snyderized version of the Ensign's log be like? Every week, the ship would crash into a populated city. Millions of people would die. None of us would care.
We'd be indifferent. There'd be lofty dialogue.
Yes, lots of lofty dialogue. Nobody would ever want to help anybody.
We'd talk about ourselves and our actions in the third person.
Yeah.
Everything would be a burden.
Mm-hmm. There'd be just completely over the top gratuitous violence every couple of minutes for no reason.
And we'd find a way so that Starfleet, an organization that is designed to help people and explore space, is somehow a bad thing, and we should all be doing it individually if we wanted to even do it at all.
Because we don't owe nobody nothing.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, it would be terrible. It would be terrible. Just like the Snyderverse in the movies is terrible.
And I don't know how we do slow motion on a podcast.
Yeah, how do you do
but
audio
we'd
slow
figure
motion?
out a way to get it in there.
We just
like
have to
stretch out the audio.
I could do that.
Jason.
No, you don't even have to change the pitch. Just like stretch it out.
It's like the Music Man teaching people how to sing. It's just sustained talking. Radical Bacon wants to know, will the Ensigns ever get promoted?
No.
We're going to have to change the title of the show. Why would we do that?
I think temporarily.
Well, your guy got promoted in like season 2, right? Yeah.
Yeah, season 2.
Yeah.
Briefly.
Yeah.
I think there's a possibility that we will have an episode at some point in which we see our futures, where we will have promotions and things like that. But I mean, as far as the show goes, no, they can't. They're always on. I think the Jason character is far more competent at his job than Steve is. So the likelihood that he would remain an ensign forever is not totally believable. But I think there's always going to be things that'll prevent him from being able to go to the next rank, whatever that is. What is it? Lieutenant junior grade,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think my character might actually get demoted. I think I might end up as an ensign junior grade at some point.
He's going to end up as an admiral.
I'll just have the little hollow
think about admirals in Starfleet, and then think about.
I'm going to be the commander in chief of Starfleet at some point.
That's the dream episode.
That's the dream episode. Chekhov, Pavel, rank admiral. Sig77 says to me, I guess, because it says, "Hey, Mr. Encyclopedia, how did Wesley return to the movie Nemesis when he should be roaming with the time traveler in TNG?" That's a deleted scene. That's not canon. Or if you prefer the other answer, shitty, lazy writing. Because it's a terrible movie and it's a terribly written movie, and there's not an obvious character choice that wasn't made in that movie. You know, like, let's have Riker and Troy get married. Sure, why not? Let's have Wesley. The
truth of the matter is
that
the space traveler, or whatever his name was, his name was the Traveler.
The Traveler, right? Yeah. They really hurt themselves coming up with that too, didn't they?
He didn't want to teach Wesley anything.
He realized he made a mistake.
He had an ulterior motive.
Oh, I see where you're going.
And the quicker that Wesley could get away, the better. If you didn't notice, he's always looking behind him.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. It's bad for Wesley.
It's too dark. It's too dark. Too dark for Star Trek.
Especially when he became a shill for all of the shows currently on CBS.
You mean Will Wheaton?
Yeah.
He's the host of The Ready Room.
Oh, good for him.
Guess that makes him a shill in your mind.
You know what else Will Wheaton likes to do?
What?
Play D&D.
Well, good for him. I guess I know what we're not doing if I ever hang out with Will Wheaton. He'll be like, "You want to play D&D?" I'll be like, "I'm going to go back to my room. You have fun." Beautifulest one asks, this is for all of us, if we had to choose a particular iteration of Star Trek to live in, which version of Star Trek would we choose?
I'm going to go back to the original series.
Really?
Yeah.
You'd want to live in classic Trek?
Number one, I wouldn't be in Starfleet.
Yeah, that's true. You don't have to be in Starfleet.
I would be a Fenton Mudd. I think more than anything else. I think I would probably be closer to a Fenton Mudd than I would be to anyone. But I mean, it just feels more, and I don't know how to put this. It feels more adventurous. It just feels more adventurous than TNG. TNG felt like a cruise. Yeah. And things would happen and they go, "Oh dear," and then that would be the end of it.
Yeah, I know, but I kind of like that. Like if we're talking about living somewhere, I don't like adventures like in stories are lovely, but living them sucks. Like they're not fun. They're unpleasant until you're done with them. And then you're like, "Oh, that was certainly interesting," and it makes for a good story. But it also makes for a good story when it happened to somebody else and you can just talk to everyone. You can just
I'm still sticking with the original series. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the aesthetic. I just like that. It feels more fun to me than being TNG. Just feels like. Don't take this the wrong way, Dana. It feels like school all the time.
TNG feels comfortable and secure and relaxing, like a cruise. Not like school. Not like school. Dear God, like school. School is
everything is beige and boring and just.
Yeah, I would say.
What do you have against beige?
You do it well. You paired it with purple. And I'm not saying that I have a problem with your beige, but if you're surrounded in a beige nightmare in space.
The original subtitle of the series, by the way.
Star Trek Beige Nightmare?
Beige Nightmare in space.
All I'm saying is that
Oh, that's why
the ship doesn't seem to have deck plates. It's got wall-to-wall carpeting, for fuck's sake. You never saw a single person vacuuming and grumbling about, I joined Starfleet so that I could vacuum these hallways all day goddamn long.
It's a good life.
That's why kids are so mad.
It's a good life in Starfleet.
Vacuuming the carpet of the Enterprise D.
By the way, if you get the HD version, you get to see all the crap that's on the floor.
Yes.
So...
Boy, they don't vacuum this thing at all, do they?
No.
I would say I agree with Dana. If I had to be, if we're talking about where I'd want to live, it's definitely TNG. Because it just, I mean, all the things that you're citing as reasons why you would want to live there, Jason, are the reasons where I would.
Steve.
Yes.
They're kids on that Enterprise.
Yeah, but you know what though? It's a big ship.
you can avoid the kids. It's okay. It's just like being on a cruise.
Exactly.
You guys do whatever you want. Get your replicator bullshit. I'm going to be perfectly fine eating my multicolored, food cubes while I'm robbing the Enterprise blind and then just running away.
Now, if we're talking about like what would be, I mean, just in terms of like aesthetics and feel and what I think would be the most interesting period to live, then probably the TOS movies. Okay, I think I've said before the TOS movie era, especially like
yes, you love that. You love that aesthetic.
Between like Star Trek 2 and Star Trek 6 is like that's my favorite Star Trek.
And don't get me wrong, I love DS9. I would never step foot inside of that goddamn space station.
You wouldn't want to live there.
No, everyone's at war. No one feels good.
Nobody wants to be there.
No, that one again. It's all about comfort, and if I'm living somewhere, I want to be comfy and happy, and adventure. Screw that.
But on DS9, if I'm standing in one place for too long, a really grumpy security chief tells me to fuck off.
A really grumpy security chief who can take different shapes.
Yeah,
who can like show up in your room as like a plate. And then all of a sudden he's like, I heard what you said.
How bad was DS9? Most of the crew escape into a holodeck to the 1960s that not even the captain feels comfortable going to because he knows the history of the country that is set in.
Yeah. Which is one of my favorite bits of the last season of DS9 when everybody's like all excited about like, oh, let's go save Vic's nightclub. And Sisko's like, nope. I'm not saving the nightclub based on racist 1960s Vegas. I'm not doing that. Deralta Trekkie has a question for our characters.
Okay.
And the question is, hello, this is Captain Nate Neal from the 24th century. Admiral Pittman and Commander Zakariot had a fight. Pittman says, Kirk sucks. Opinions?
He's a guy. I mean, he's a captain. He's got good qualities. He has bad qualities. He definitely has moods. I'll say that much.
He certainly does.
But I mean, he's been fair. I mean, he could have killed Steve or got him sent to another ship.
Well, he was cool about. You remember the time I accidentally sent him the dick pic?
Yes, he was cool about.
And he was totally cool about that. He could have made a big deal about it, and he totally just kind of brushed it off, which I thought was really cool. I mean, see, for me, I think he was a good captain. I'm going to miss having him as the captain. Yeah, I know you had
no Pike.
I was just going to say, see, that's where I was going to go with that. You served on the Enterprise for a lot longer than I did. So, you know, you're like kind of in love with the previous captain. I'm
the
sure
other
he
thing
was good.
is that, you know, Kirk knew how to laugh, he had a good time. Yeah, have a good time. He was good with kids. I just hope we never get a captain who is like the opposite of all of those things,
that would
where
suck.
he doesn't appear to ever have fun at anything. His interests are boring to the point which you nod off while he starts talking about them. And I just don't think I could get behind a captain that doesn't like children.
Hopefully that would never be a problem that we will face.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of laughs, how many beeps does it to indicate a laugh?
You're a fucking bastard. You are, yeah, that was low even for you. I don't know.
Is it 3 beeps if you think something is funny?
Yeah, I guess. Like, you know, I'll ask him how funny it is when you actually have to end your relationship or the universe will implode, and see how many laughs I get out of him for that.
I guess I walked right into that. I mean,
you can hurt both ways. This can go both ways if that's what you want.
I guess I walked right into that one.
Yeah, you did. You made fun of a crippled man.
A hero who saved lives. I mean, come on.
Well, remember, it's my fault.
Yeah, that's right. It is your fault. Mm-hmm. Andre Kriskovich asks, can we please get a Plarb spinoff?
Thank you. Plarb is my favorite character I've ever done.
I would love a Plarb spinoff.
And I would like to say, maybe there'll be another Plarb episode coming up very soon during the break.
Another like our version of Short Treks.
Kind of. I mean, we did a brief Plarb between the break between 2 and 3.
2 and 3, yeah.
And that was one of my favorite things ever, mainly because it was short and also because I love Plarb.
Plarb is
and so, yes, a spin-off series, we only have so much time in the week. So to do a whole nother series, I don't know how much you'd love Plarb if it was like a continuing series.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's a somewhat limited character, but he's really funny. I mean,
just a little bit.
Yeah. John Burns wants to know, have any of us ever acted as a quadrupedal character, either on stage, screen, or audio?
I've never done it. I've never done that.
Dana, have you ever played a quadruped?
Yes!
You have?
Tina's an iguana.
Oh, that's right. Tina's an iguana.
That's true. Tina's an iguana.
God,
wait, did he say quadruped or?
Okay. I didn't make her an iguana. You guys came up with it.
Shit.
Pay attention. See, this is why I have notes, people.
And she doesn't even listen to the show.
I do now.
Well, that's true. You do now. Miles Mulholland says, "Excellent season, chaps, and welcome, Dana. Loved your TOS counselor. I guess that's Dr. McKenna there.
That's McKenna, yeah.
Can't wait for season 4. Looking forward to the Johnson baby reunion via Tasha Yar. Don't get too far ahead now. Don't get too far ahead."
Oh, Ace of Sevens points out that Jason voiced Spot.
That's right. You did play a quadrupedal character.
I did.
You were Spot.
Yeah. I played Spot.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
John Burns says Dana is officially a fantastic actor.
Oh, thank you.
I would agree.
Because I take notes.
Because you take notes. Lisa Garrison says, this is another question in character. Mm-hmm. Lisa Garrison says, so I heard your new captain is French, but when I met him, he seemed like super British. What's up with that?
Well, we don't know.
We haven't met the new captain
yet.
Yeah.
How do you know we're even going there?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll wind up on the Pegasus? What's another one?
Why the Yamato?
Oh, we could wind up on the Yamato. Yeah.
A ship with
where you were though.
Well, but we might transfer to another
But
ship.
That would be weird. It would be weird.
You don't know that that's going to be your captain necessarily.
That's true.
But it would be weird if he was French, but he had a British accent.
What's the point of that?
And be like, he comes in, pip, tally-ho, I'm going to have some tea, gentlemen, bye-bye. And, oh, by the way, I'm totally French.
By the way, I'm totally French.
Well, I mean, Battle of Hastings, 1066. They did kind of invade and take over.
Yeah, so maybe there's like...
Thank you, Miss Dana.
English teacher. let's talk about the development of the English language.
No.
255 AD asks, why do they eat regular food even though they have the replicator? Why is no one like, I'm going to have rhino steak or Kentucky Fried Endangered Parrot? I guess, like, why aren't we ordering more like exotic shit out of the replicator instead of always ordering like normal food? I don't know. I mean, do you really want to eat like a rhino steak? Does that sound appetizing?
Well, I'm curious. I mean, how the replicator would replicate rhino steak if it hadn't actually been,
someone had to cook a rhino steak and put it into the replicator system.
Not necessarily.
Right.
Like what the replicator could conceivably do is look, I mean, depending on how advanced it is, look at the, molecular structure of different types of meats, like the muscle tone of the original animal as compared to what happens when it becomes a steak.
I don't think the replicator can do that, though.
But it could.
If I went up and I said, I want a lukewarm glass of Tyrannosaurus Rex semen, I don't think the computer would be able to make that.
There would be a margin of error. There would be a margin of error.
It would go, bib, bib, that is not in our menu.
You have been reported to the ship's counselor.
Which is exactly what he wanted,
You
God.
can't go up and say, I want a well-done bathrobe, please. And the computer would just go, what does that mean?
Oh, Radical Bacon just made the joke I was about to make. Could we order human steak? Could we use the replicator to eat human flesh?
According to Jason, no. I'm saying it's theoretically possible.
Deanna Troy's board lights up when someone orders that.
Oh, like, shit, here we go. Francois Lacombe points out the replicator can make Klingon food. I don't think it would have problems making rhino steak. Well,
it's all dead. Klingons hate it because all the food is
That's right. A lot of Klingon food is supposed to be served live.
Mm-hmm.
And the replicator cannot create life. Only
they complain a lot about replicated gach.
Yeah. Yeah. CMAC points out something really, really bad happened to the Yamato. Yeah, I was gonna point that out. I was gonna say we could end up serving on the Yamato, a ship with no doubt a very long and bright future ahead of it. Yeah. Another question for us in character. My ship just is from Duralta Trekkie. My ship just crash landed on this planet. The crew seems kind of pissed. Any tips how to get off the planet? I'd say fix the ship.
Yeah, fix the ship. I mean, if you can't fix the ship, I guess get used to the planet. I mean, as best you can.
Do you have a Scottish person who's like really good at engineering?
It helps if you have a Scottish guy.
Scottish people are great with engineering.
But you have to have a little booze. They don't. Their thinker doesn't get warmed up unless there's a little booze around.
Or I mean, although not all Scottish people are engineers, though, right, Dr. McKenna?
She's the engineer of the mind.
Dr. McKenna, are you there?
I don't want to be here.
Dr. McKenna, we miss you. Why did you leave the ship?
Because I hate both of you. I despise you. You forced me into early retirement, god damn you.
We drove her crazy and it broke her accent.
Is it
crazy?
Is it because Jason called you mommy that time?
God, why'd you have to remind me? I'd almost put it out of my mind.
It just slipped out. I couldn't help it.
Fuck you.
I've been having breastfeeding nightmares since you left.
Good.
That's true.
I hope they get worse. I hope you chew your tongue off.
He was having such a night terror a few weeks ago. I actually had to leave half my sandwich in the shower and go wake him up.
I tell you, I'm very good at cursing, like not just swearing, but like calling down curses on people.
Cursing people, you mean?
Calling down the thunder.
But
Radical Bacon wants to know if we have nicknames for the ships. For instance, in the Navy, they call the Enterprise the Enterprison.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever came up. Okay, so secretly for the character, internally, but he never says it out loud. He calls it Big E.
Big E.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. My character doesn't have a nickname for the ship, but whenever they serve pie in the commissary, those are Enterprise.
Steve.
Yes. What? I say, who wants an Enterprise?
For someone who's never going to be a father,
the
you
Enterprise.
do a lot of dad jokes. You do a lot of dad jokes.
You mean I'm really funny?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Is that what you mean by that?
That's exactly what I mean.
That's what
my
a dad
bright,
joke means,
beautiful
right?
boy.
That you're really funny.
I love all of your puns and all of your dad jokes.
I know you do. I know you do, my friend.
It's great. Enterprise.
You
know, later when I'm going to be banging my head with the refrigerator door, I'll think Enterprise and I'll just bang it harder, but I'll be laughing.
Of course.
And crying at the same time.
I know. Yes, CMAC, I do have children. They're grown adult children. I'm old.
But they still count. There was a good one up. Oh, Miles Mulholland asks for each of us, who's our favorite character that we have played on the show so far?
I have a lot that are a tie.
You've played a lot of characters. I haven't played nearly as many as you have.
Spot, Mud, Baby.
Baby, yeah.
I love playing Baby. Well, I love playing Baby. I love them all equally. I love playing Mud because Mud is one of my favorite Star Trek characters. Not the one that appeared in Discovery, but the original Mud.
Yeah, the Roger Carmel.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of the character, but it's when we went to the Eden planet with Vol.
Oh, yeah. And you were the guy, who...
Oh, God. He was so annoying.
And Plarb. I love Plarb.
Of course, yeah. I like the my Romulan guy. We've only had them pop up in, I think, 3 episodes. But I like my Romulan guy. Dana, who's been your favorite character so far?
I like Tina a lot, but I'd probably have to say Lenore. I mean, the descent into just like sheer I will make you suffer. That was fun.
What about Linda?
Linda. Security crewman Linda.
Linda's nice, but I mean, essentially it's just me yelling at Steve.
I'm so sad that we lost Linda so soon.
Why? I mean, come on. You guys, like, you're on the Enterprise like a week. I guarantee you there are going to be plenty of crewmen who want to go.
That's true.
The challenge will be developing slightly different voices for any of the females. And of course, you'll get to take the dudes. So I mean, we can tag team this.
Mm-hmm.
It can be like, like a crew thing.
Arcane Flame wants to know what are all of our favorite Star Trek ship classes?
Oh God.
That's a nerd question for you.
I love the Constitution class.
Right.
I mean, that's a boring answer because it's been like, that's the class from the movies and from the TV show. Mainly because my favorite ship is the Enterprise from Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Yeah, that is my favorite. The refit Constitution class is my favorite. It's a beautiful ship. And then after that, it's Constitution class from the series. And I have a soft spot, even though it's kind of boring. I do have a soft spot for the Defiant, and that I can't remember. That's Defiant class, isn't it? I can't remember what they called it.
I don't think I can't remember if it's called Defiant class or not, but the Defiant would be what I would say.
Yeah.
Dana? I've always been partial to the Y-Wing. I think
I take it back. I really like a Star Fury. That's one of my favorites. I love a Star Fury.
I like the ship from Forbidden Planet. I think it's literally just a rocket, isn't it?
We're on a treasure planet, man.
Which is just like a boat.
Yeah, it's like a ship, but like the sails light up. Oh, come on, that sucker's pretty.
Okay, we have a request here. It's not directly a request. I feel like this is a request for an improv. So the question is directed at me. Could we do Forrest Gump as a Starfleet crewman? So here's what I propose. I will be crewman Forrest, and you two will be officers who are, or maybe Jason, you can be an officer, and Dana, you can be a fellow crewman who we've been called in for discipline or something.
All right, fine. Let's do a quick improv.
Okay, just real quick. Okay, and I'm Forrest Gump. You guys can be whoever you want.
Enter.
Crewman Gump reporting for duty.
Do you know why you've been called here, Crewman Gump?
No.
What about you, Crewman Rogers?
Just call me Linda, okay? What?
Okay, Linda, do you know why you've been called here?
I just got summoned. What?
Okay. When Crewman Gump first joined us here on the Enterprise, it was stated in his record that he should not go anywhere near a window.
Right.
Because he doesn't understand the concept of space travel?
It's night all the time.
This is what
sometimes the stars get all long and streaky.
So why is he on our ship?
It's a program, okay? You know, sometimes the Federation comes up with being very, very inclusive.
Shouldn't there be better code for this program?
Well, yeah, it should. But the problem with Gump is that we don't even know why he is the way he is. That's the way he is. And he needs to feel like he's a part of something. Everyone has a job in the Federation.
Right here, sir.
My mama
you can say almost anything in front of him. It doesn't matter.
My mama said serving on a starship was a fine job.
That's great for you and your mama. We're going to try to do this again. You understand that when you look out a window, it's not night, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
No matter how long you look at it, the sun is not going to come up.
It will someday.
Well, if we go into a system that has a sun, then yes, the sun will eventually come up. But it doesn't make it night or day. Those are concepts based on when you're on a... Pardon? I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Please continue trying to explain things to Crewman Gump.
Well, that's the point. He doesn't... Did you understand anything I said, Crewman Gump?
You said that sometimes it will be daytime when we get close to a star.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So unfortunately, we cannot have him having another freak out where he starts running around the ship nonstop for no reason.
I could run like the wind blows.
Yeah, he can run that. There's no wind in space or in this ship.
Why not? I heard somebody say that there was
outside.
I heard somebody say we just...
Can he work with you, please, sir?
But
please,
no.
Sir,
but
Linda, you're going to be permanently assigned to Crewman Gump.
Oh, we're going to be...
To make sure he doesn't swallow his tongue or accidentally walk out an airlock.
Linda, we're going to be...
I mean, yes, sir, of course.
We're going to be such good friends.
You're going to be the bestest friends.
You know, I'm going to show you a really, really special place, Crewman Gump.
That's great. You can do that later. Right now, it's time for his bath. And scene.
It's bath time. And scene. Hope you're happy, 255 AD.
I hope you're happy now. Sorry.
Duralta Trekkie says that my Gump sounds like Sulu. I don't know if
that's a little bit.
I don't know. It's kind of because I kind of go for a deep voice with it. Yeah. The helm is sluggish, Captain. John Burns wants to know, any thought to have the Ensigns join the Orion pirates? While on board the pirate ship, you have to talk like a pirate at all times.
I would love to be able to do it so that the Orion pirates did talk like pirates. I think that would be great. Yar! We're pirates from Orion, we be.
Like, boy, they take this pirate thing awful seriously.
The word slave doesn't mean the same thing to you as it does to us, apparently.
We don't see what the problem is.
That be feeling like a retcon, it do.
Dana Deralta Trekkie wants to know, this is a question for you in character, I guess, I presume as Dr. McKenna, based on the question. Did you know that your job inspired Deanna Troi?
Oh, why they had her in that particular outfit that didn't match nobody else's. It's very unfortunate, but
the counselor cleavage outfit?
You always wore a proper uniform, Dr. McKenna, which I appreciated.
Yes, well, apparently it didn't seem to matter much. Apparently they decided that certain other attributes were more important than professionalism.
Damn. Not throwing shade at Counselor Troi.
No. She's the point is she can act as a professional all she wants, but she is not being treated like one.
Well, that's true.
Hey, damn straight it is.
My mommy liked to wear blue.
I'm sure she did.
Lisa Garrison wants to know, how is my Takei oh my? Well, let's see. Oh my. That really sounds like Forrest.
No, that sounded good.
It did.
Oh my. Oh my.
That sounds like Forrest.
Oh my, Jenny, what are you doing? Put your clothes back on.
You did Sulu for the show.
Yeah, that's true. We did have Sulu in one episode, and I did Sulu. Yeah. Was that the naked time one where he was in the bathroom or something?
That was the one with what was the name of the computer that gave everyone the red hour?
Oh yeah, on Return of the Archons. The computer. Oh fuck, what was the computer's name? Yeah, but I know exactly what you mean. Landrew, yes. Arcane Flame says, more of a late seating question. Any thought to reviewing the 2009 Star Trek film at some point?
Yes.
Sure, I think we'll get to it eventually, yeah. It's more than 10 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to blindly choose it in one of your sadistic choices. Deralta Trekkie wants to know, for you, Jason, can you imagine playing a Horta, or as I love to call it, the living lasagna?
Yeah, I could picture playing that. It's too bad that they couldn't talk except through Spock. I would have loved to have a Horta on the show.
Pain!
Mm-hmm. I would like to get to know other aspects of the Horta other than the pain of genocide.
Oh my.
Well, but Jason, your guy is part Vulcan. Maybe you could mind meld with a Horta and then.
Yeah, but you can't do that
translate. Shit. Stop taking your genetic blockers and.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can do all the Vulcan shit. You know, like how you fix my penis.
That was me thinking about it.
That's how you stopped taking the Vulcan blockers, and then you put your hands on my penis. And you took the bad parts out of my penis. Remember?
That's right. I cured you.
You cured me. Yeah.
I remember all of it.
Yeah. I just wanted to remind people that was something that happened to us.
That was something that happened.
Yeah.
You okay?
So, Radical Bacon.
I didn't actually touch you.
Radical Bacon wants to know, how did we even get into the academy?
I got in with good grades. Steve cheated.
I did. I cheated.
But he cheated effectively.
And then once we were both in the academy, he cheated off me.
Yep. And here we are. And the results speak for themselves.
Me and my albatross.
I am a Starfleet officer.
As you often remind us.
It's an accomplishment worth underlining, I think.
You say it almost every episode.
I mean, Linda, you wouldn't know. You're just a crewman. You didn't graduate from the academy like I did.
Yeah. So what?
So that's why I'm ahead of you in the chain of command. I'm a commissioned officer.
Bottom of his class.
That's not. Is that true? I never actually looked. Is that true? I was the bottom of my class.
They don't say out loud. Usually it's the people who graduate top of their classes, the ones that they announce. They don't usually reserve. And now the bottom 10, they don't usually do that.
What's like the opposite of the valedictorian? I mean, shouldn't that be something?
No,
they call it the Johnson.
That's
okay. True. Now
all,
at the academy they call it the Johnson.
Linda, first of all, you don't know that. And second of all, as we've been over and over this, you should not talk to a superior rank like that.
I'm giving her permission. Linda.
Don't.
I don't need permission.
You do, Linda.
Linda don't need permission from nobody.
To an officer.
You're fired or some shit like that. But, what are they going to do? Not pay me?
in a society without money, what are you going to do? Not pay me?
I mean, there's, I do a good job because I want to do a good job. I talk shit to Ensign Johnson because I want to talk shit to Ensign Johnson. So, I mean, yeah, fire me.
Wow. Okay, you're fired.
You can't.
I can't. I'm her superior officer. Why can't I?
You can't fire crewmen,
Wait. If I'm fired, I'm not in Starfleet, right?
That's right.
And so, I can't be court-martialed or anything like that, right?
Now you have to treat her like a citizen.
I could punch him in the face, and I couldn't be court-martialed, right?
Actually, you can now report his behavior as abuse towards a citizen of the Federation.
Yeah, but that's not nearly as much fun.
Oh, he'll go away for a little while.
I've been to prison.
Yeah, but
I can do my time.
Please go do your time. Go eat in the shower or something.
Unfire her, would you please?
You're unfired.
Thank you.
My friend has appealed to my friend has appealed to my kindness, my boundless kindness and empathy. I have decided to spare your Starfleet career, Linda. You are welcome.
Can we stop and answer questions?
Yes.
Thank you.
David C. Drake wants to know, how did we do the voice for the talking penis? It was phenomenal. Thank you.
So there were two steps involved. Number one, I had to talk like this when I was doing baby. I would talk like this, and it was fun. And then I would pitch it up about 20. I don't know. I would change 20 points of pitch up to make it go up even higher. Yeah. It's a very nasal thing.
John Burton.
66, congratulations. Welcome to my life. Like somebody will say a word and I'm like, there's a song for that. You have no idea how many times I don't say something. Or sing something, that's the case maybe.
John Burns wants to know, and then Robert Mills has the follow-up. John Burns wants to know, will there ever be a Karen character on the show? To which Robert Mills responds, isn't that Steve?
I am an officer, okay? Do you know?
Oh my gosh.
Know who I am?
Holy cow.
A Karen.
I agree with that statement. I'm
That's
unfortunately,
I never thought of it that way, but yeah, he is a total Karen. Yep. Exactly, Dana. I am an officer. I am a graduate of Starfleet Academy.
You can't speak to me that way. Yeah, I can.
And
how many times have you asked for a superior officer? You do it all the time.
Oh yes, can I speak to your superior? I'm gonna bump this up the chain of command, Buster. And the ineffectual attempts at intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, it's total Karen behavior.
Mm-hmm. And because it's a podcast, it doesn't matter that you haven't dyed your hair badly.
It's the future. You don't have to dye it. You just take a pill or something, right?
What?
Or wave like a laser
to change your hair color?
Or like wave like a laser in front of it and it changes it. That's how they do it.
What would the laser do other than catch your hair on fire?
I don't know.
Have you never seen a woman get ready for a date?
It's the future. You just wave a thing and it changes the thing.
Everyone on the ship, all the ladies have wigs. Big wigs. Do you think Rand's hair gets that kind of checkerboard thing in the front just naturally?
I thought
she
maybe.
waves a laser in front of her face and
she has a checkerboard laser. Yeah, she has a checkerboard laser.
No, she spends hours doing that in the morning. And it's a wig, and then she just pins it in place.
Yep. You do it once, and then it's done. You just have to make sure you put it on the wig head overnight.
Right.
Don't let it get messed up with screwed. You have to do it all over again. That sucks.
The wig head.
Look, I know you've never been close enough to a woman to see her apply makeup and do her hair.
You don't know that.
You're usually gone before the morning.
You don't know that for a fact.
I know that for a fact.
Oh, yeah?
Wait.
Yeah, because I have to be asleep in my own bed or I don't sleep well.
That's true. Why do you say that like that's not like a real thing? I'm very sensitive.
I just said it like it's a real thing.
I'm very sensitive. I need to be in my own bed or I'll toss and turn all night.
I know. And you've used that as an excuse to never stay overnight with a woman ever.
It's not an excuse. It's the truth.
I've seen you sleep on the floor. You fall asleep in chairs constantly. You don't wake up and go, oh no, I'm discombobulated because I wasn't asleep in my bed. How did you do prison? How?
They gave me I had a bed. It was a Starfleet prison. It was really nice.
You don't see the psychological component to this where you have to be home in bed? It doesn't matter that it's you rest soundly. It's because the concept of being home in bed somehow comforts you.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with whatever you're saying, like fear of intimacy or something. That's.
Well, what's the difference between the bed with the woman at her place and the bed at home? It's a bed.
Yeah, well, this is my bed.
Okay. All I'm saying is you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to makeup and hair, so don't. You're going to wind up getting somebody angry. Okay?
Okay, whatever. I don't know.
That's how easy it is for us to slip into character.
Throughout Trekkie wants to know, and I think this is also an in-character question, did we ever meet Marla MacGyver?
Which one's Marla MacGyver?
She's the one who went off and married Khan. She left with Khan.
I don't think our characters ever did meet her directly.
No idea.
No, I don't believe.
Yeah, I don't believe we did.
No, but she would have been on the ship. I mean, I don't think we ever actually knew her.
Nice thing about being on a ship with 400 people is that we have a ready-made excuse to have heard about somebody, but not actually having had interacted with them.
Exactly. Okay, this is Sci-Fi Bronx. This is, okay, Sci-Fi Brony, excuse me. Steve wouldn't wake up and say he's discombobulated because he doesn't know that word. I am very intelligent.
Hey, Steve, nobody is intelligent when they first wake up. It's in complete, not for once giving you crap, honest.
He kind of has a point.
You know.
We're talking about vocabulary, not smarts.
I'm just really.
I'm just saying that even if he knew the word, I mean, coming up with that when you first wake up, that's
when he first wake up, he wouldn't say I'm discombobulated. He'd come up with a 20-word sentence to just try to describe how he feels
instead of saying discombobulated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm really so over all of the digs at my intelligence.
You remember them?
I forgot to tell you, we're not in character right now, Steve.
Same problem.
Oh, come on.
Francois Lacombe says, why doesn't Steve take the woman to his place? Use your head.
Not that one.
Because it's way easier to leave someone else's place than to get someone to leave your place.
Yeah, let's see how comfortable your bed is if you ever brought anybody home.
You know what? There's not room. It's just a small bed.
You're just afraid they're going to see you eating in the shower.
Why would they see me eating in the shower unless we were taking a shower together?
Because the first thing you like to do is have a big breakfast.
Okay, first of all, I haven't been with a woman since I started the eating in the shower thing. So there's flaw number one in your brilliant little, attempt to insult me.
How do I know you haven't been sneaking it all this time?
Sneaking what? Sneaking.
The women.
Yeah, I was just going to say the food of the women. Yeah.
I'd notice a woman. I'm talking about sneaking food into the shower. Maybe it's something that had started in prison.
You know,
I don't want anyone else to steal your food.
I don't really care for prison shower jokes either.
You may not be the strongest guys. There's probably Nausicaans in there with you, and they're like, human, food me.
Give me shower sandwich, human. Give me food in shower. Play Domjot after shower.
Now that we've established that Domjot has multiple meanings too, in us.
Oh shit! Yeah, play Domjot in shower. 255 AD asks, would we want to serve on the ship in his avatar? It's the most primitive ship ever featured in Trek. It can only go warp 1.3. It takes like 10 years between systems. Oh, that sounds like a ball. Why would I want to serve on that ship?
Well,
10 years between systems?
How's the food? Does it, does it have good books? I mean, food, books, I'm happy.
No, pass.
I guess if you don't have anywhere to go.
Pass.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, me too. I don't think so.
Dane
is the only one who's going to come, pending the food. If the food is good,
I'm really happy. Yeah, I'm really easy to please.
And if they have enough books, but I mean,
yeah,
10 years. How many books are you going to wind up reading? Twice.
Well, I wouldn't have to read them twice if they have enough.
Yeah, but there's only so much room on a ship. They're just like, keep loading the books on, boys. It's going to be a long flight.
Not digital books.
Okay, so fine.
Read them on a pad. Yeah, exactly. Duralta Trekkie says, Captain Nate Neal here. Come aboard my ship. The USS Forgot the Name. It's quite nice, and you'll like it here. I like that people have apparently heard the show and still want us to be on their ship.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's nice.
I don't think this is legit.
I don't think so either. The Forgot the Name?
The captain forgot the name?
How did the captain forget the name?
Right. This sounds like a weird sex dungeon kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not falling for it this time.
Okay,
not again.
Good.
Not again.
I don't want to have to rescue you from that again.
No.
But I mean, was it really that bad?
Was it?
You weren't even there.
You were a little reluctant to leave the last time. Just a little. The counselor chalked it up to, Stockholm Syndrome.
But was it really? I mean...
Okay, so quite honestly, when I finally found him in the dungeon, he was wearing a big diaper. He was eating out of a gigantic bowl full of porridge. He seemed...
Exactly. That's how it happened.
He seemed very content.
Very content, exactly. It's convenient, takes care of all the necessities, and then just he made some adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like where this is going. I feel like first of all, you speak in a Scottish accent if you're going to psychoanalyze me, baby.
Jeez, Linda, what are you talking about?
They don't pay me enough to psychoanalyze you on purpose.
Well, Arcane Flame wants to know, I don't think we can answer this question, but Arcane Flame wants to know, will the Ensigns visit Cetacean Ops on the Enterprise D?
No spoilers.
That would be a spoiler.
Spoilers.
We can't say that.
No spoilers.
To go pet the fish?
Maybe we'll take a field trip. They're mammals.
We don't get to go milk the fish?
Yeah. Cetacean Ops is a room filled with clams. And they just have microphones stuck in there.
The budget was cut.
Captain, we received a message from Cetacean Ops. It just says, "Oh shit, the Borg."
The who? Because it's season 1, so we don't know. Lisa Garrison wants to know, is it still ambiguous if Ensign's Log Steve is a salt vampire? I'm playing the long game.
Yeah, no, Steve is Steve. He's not secretly the salt vampire still. That salt vampire died in that episode.
Yes, that species is extinct.
Yes.
Like so many other species that we've encountered in our travels.
McCoy killed it.
Yes, McCoy killed it. Lisa Garrison points out, hey, there are lots of uses for dolphin milk in space. Are there, though?
Is there?
I mean,
Can you milk a dolphin?
Can you milk a dolphin? Dana
yeah.
apparently thinks so.
If you have the right equipment, and I mean it's the future, so who's to say they wouldn't have developed it?
Yeah, but they're sentient, sapient animals. Why would they want us to milk them?
Maybe they get off on it.
Great. He said it. He said it.
They dig it.
I didn't have to.
They dig it. They're like, hey, anybody want to milk me? And they're like, who wants to milk Lieutenant Commander Flipper?
Squee.
Squee. Jason, here's one for you. Francois Lacombe.
Squee. And
I'm not saying that. I'm not going to say Lieutenant.
Radical bacon, exactly.
Rule 34. Yeah, totally. Francois Lacombe wants to know, Jason, what's the tattoo on your arm?
Presumably
your camera arm. Yeah,
it's a skull and an infinity symbol,
and
then I have a dragonfly here.
It means death forever.
It means death forever. And then I have the. I don't think you can see that one, no matter how I turn. I have a hydrogen atom here. I have a dog that's having a minor meltdown somewhere in the house. I have the symbols for all the planets, including the sun. And then I have a little Norwegian scroll work because I'm Norwegian.
You're all tatted up.
Yeah.
Don't you know
I have a question for Steve. Have you ever considered getting a tattoo?
No.
Let me answer for him. No.
You know what? Because I have nothing against tattoos. I just can't think of anything that I want to get that I want bad enough that I want it tattooed on my body. Not
even a Starfleet insignia?
Not even the NASA logo that you wear every day. And
yeah.
So the tattoo would be redundant. I've got it on my hat.
Why don't you just tattoo the sun's mascot on your forehead, and then you don't have to wear the hat.
And then it would be with you all the time. Like you wouldn't have to take it off ever. It could always be with you.
Yeah.
Arcane Flame says, not even Riker's face. buddy, I've already got it.
Well, and I was thinking it's not the face. That it's not. He's not just a pretty face. I mean, there's more.
There's Riker. There's Ode to Riker.
Yes,
that
indeed.
Only he smells.
The musk.
So
the musk. Yes, indeed. Algrul, what do you mean? What about Pluto? Like a Pluto?
His tattoo.
Yes. Okay. So when I got this tattoo all the way back in,
when it was still a planet,
I don't know what year it was. It was still a planet. So yeah, Pluto is on my arm.
So now it's a dwarf planet.
Yeah, I know.
So now you can just kind of squish that part of the skin together.
Yeah, and whenever I show it, I just squish it in and I go, there. Don't talk to me about Pluto.
Shut up about Pluto. It's a sore subject.
Mm-hmm.
Radical Bacon suggests welcome aboard on the penis.
What?
For a tattoo, for my tattoo. Welcome aboard on the penis.
Well?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Oh no, Dana and I are lining up.
But now, now if the next time someone asks you if you've ever considered getting a tattoo, you can say yes.
Yes, I
considered it, and you decided not to.
I can honestly say I briefly considered getting welcome aboard tattooed on my dick, but then I decided not to.
Mm-hmm. Well, bye.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
No, I'm saying, and when you say that to someone in public,
when they leave,
when you deign to speak to another human being when you're outside of
always happens.
Your house.
Does he?
Yeah.
Ever?
I don't know. He's got to say something to somebody.
If the line is too long at the self-checkout, I kind of have to.
You have to say something to them? You just let them scan your groceries. You put your little card in the reader. Oh, I guess you are polite enough that you would say thank you at the
Yeah, I'm not rude, Dana. If they say have a nice day, I'll say thanks, you too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
3 whole words, folks.
I'm not like, don't you speak to me.
But if they ask him what kind of bags he wants, he punches them in the face and runs out of the store.
Francois wants to know, Dana, and did you ever consider getting a tattoo? I think I know the answer to this.
Oh God, she's stripping? We're going to get thrown off YouTube.
What a great question.
Ta-da.
So yep, I have that's the other one. The other one's on the back of my head. So it's a little bit harder to get to. So,
Yeah.
Yep, so I've got 2 so far. So far. Mm-hmm. This one I really like this one. This one was actually done by a former student, which is just it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to keep up with former students and to know that they're okay.
And to get tattoos from them.
Hey, art.
Ben Holman asks, have you all seen Star Trek Acid Party yet? No, I don't even know what that is.
Oh, wait, no, I have seen it. It's funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have not
I
seen
ain't
it.
even seen all of Star Trek, so God, there's a lot of it.
There is a lot of it. Yeah, no, I haven't seen. Is it like a YouTube thing?
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to watch it, but, you know.
Of course you're not.
For as someone who, as a professional
It's like
YouTuber,
being best friends with a turtle. It literally it is. It's like, hey, buddy. All the arms come in, the head.
As a professional YouTuber, I watch shockingly little YouTube. I mean, I watch almost no YouTube.
But I mean, that kind of makes sense because, like, it's your job. So, like, I mean, I don't go out and like look for like I don't go through newspaper articles and blog posts and stuff looking to correct grammar. God no. No, thank you. Like, no.
You don't just visit other people's schools.
Well, and
just
and
for
like
shits and giggles.
There are some great questions.
I don't look for an opportunity to take care of people's kids. And like I get young people in my life all the time.
Right.
Yeah. Ellsworth Tui wants to know, what's a Star Trek?
I love it.
Help us out here.
Dana, you get to answer that question.
Dana, what's a Star Trek?
What's a Star Trek, Dana?
It's like sometimes it's a TV show, and sometimes it's a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And
sometimes it's non-canon books.
Oh,
a lot of them.
I thought you said this was my answer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to whisper that. Sometimes it's non-canon books.
So apparently, this is like I'm repeating what Jason says. Sometimes
That's
it's
right.
non-canon books. Oh, I know a thing. Sometimes it's fanfic and it involves things that censors at the time would never print, but like that's where we get slash.
That's right.
It's an online role-playing game.
Yes, that some people really enjoy.
A collectible card game as well, because I mean those were popular for a while, and there's lots, you could have lots of characters and lots of like animals and things that you could put on it. You could totally make a CCG with Star Trek.
Oh, it's been done.
I
think. Yeah.
That's what I said. Probably did that.
It is everything and nothing.
And it's dolls, Steve.
Yes, it is. Obviously.
And an online photo comic.
That's right. Thank you.
John Burns, you just mentioned one of my favorite characters ever. All you have to do is mention a character from SCTV, and it'll probably be one of my favorite characters. Thank you, John Burns.
There's another. Thoughts on Lower Decks from Arcane Flame.
It was hit and miss for me. I mean, I thought parts of it were really funny. I really liked it when they explored an idea or a concept in a humorous way. I think my favorite one, there were a couple of times where I laughed out loud, but there was the episode where they were taking one of the crew members who had had an accident to a planet where the crew members all have had accidents. And in that room was one of those space newts that...
the Janeway in Paris.
The Janeway in Paris had turned into in that in that room. Yeah. I thought that was funny. But for the most part, I really wasn't into the characters all that much. So it was really hit and miss for me. I wouldn't say it was bad, but
I generally really liked it, but I think I said in my review video, and I think when you and me talked about it too, Jason, I only laughed out loud maybe twice for the entire season. I mean, I enjoyed it and I liked a lot of it, but in terms of like, I thought I appreciated a lot of the jokes and like appreciated a lot of the comedy, but in terms of actually getting me to laugh out loud, very, very rarely.
I laughed out loud more during Picard whenever Picard had to do something that required him to move a little bit faster.
And that's just because you're a cruel, cruel man.
And I was trying to extract some sort of joy from the experience.
You like to mock the plight of the elderly. One of our finest actors.
Dude.
I could see the panic on the set day one when they said it took him 15 minutes to get out of his chair. How are we going to do this? How is he going to do the fight scene?
Here we go.
He needs a beep chair.
Oh man, that should have been the ending of the first season, and they should have put Picard in the beep chair.
The ending of the season should have happened on the first episode.
Now, how dare you? Ben Holman says, "Wait, is there Ensign's Log /fic, buddy? The Ensign's Log show is the /fic."
No, it can't be because we haven't had sex yet.
That's true. That's true. We're still teasing them.
Kinda, yeah.
So that's where it's fic. I have to admit, Robert Mills mentioned it, and I was wondering whether there's no question mark. So, I mean, I was expecting him to post a link.
Let us read your Ensign's /fic.
Okay, guys, if there is Ensign's Log /fic out there, I need to hear it, and we will read the /fic as a Patreon bonus.
We will do a bonus episode of the /fic. For sure.
We just need to know where it is, if it exists.
Miles Mulholland says, "Will Ensign Johnson try to emulate Riker at every moment? Plus, what will happen when you guys meet Barclay and Riker?" That's less of a problem now because we've kind of ditched those code names. I mean, I guess we should mention it that you used to be Ensign Barclay and I used to be Ensign Riker, but they were always like code names. So.
Yeah, they were just code names for us. So, I mean, we'll probably mention it. Yeah.
And like I say, we haven't really talked about it. We haven't recorded any of the new season yet. I think it would be funnier if my character didn't really get on with Riker very much.
Thought he was full of himself and pretentious. You know?
Yeah.
What does he think he is?
Yeah. But we'll see.
I mean, that could be a bit that you guys were like, they took our code names.
Yeah, exactly.
Their moms named their kids after us.
They must have heard our show and changed their last name. Duralta Trekkie asks, if you have a problem with a French dude sounding British, would you have a problem with a German captain having a British accent?
Everyone who's wealthy has a British accent.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the thing.
I grew up watching. I grew up watching American TV and movies, so I think German people have British accents anyway.
Exactly, that's the way it works.
Yeah.
In there.
I like authentic German accents, so yeah.
Someone earlier, I didn't mention it at the time, but someone earlier asked if we would do a Werner Herzog holodeck episode.
Where they get trapped in the holodeck on a Werner Herzog program.
Yes, and a Werner Herzog documentary, preferably. They are at the bottom of the world, in the endless snows of the Antarctic, with no hope of escape.
Becomes like a counselor on the ship.
Oh, Werner Herzog, counselor
like
Werner.
Vic on DS9. Everyone's going to go see Werner for a little perspective, and his perspective is always very bleak.
Yeah.
The Borg have sacrificed their humanity for technology. You cannot defeat them. Embrace the bliss of no longer having to make decisions on your own, but in a true community of like-minded individuals.
Just whatever the bleakest possible outcome is, Werner Herzog would be there to encourage us to embrace it.
Procreation has been planned by a massive computer.
It'd be very efficient, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. Anyone who listens to Late Seating knows that Steve and I could never get tired of doing Werner Herzog.
No, exactly. We've done Werner Herzog in movie podcasts that have absolutely nothing to do with
Werner Herzog.
There is absolutely no bridge between the movie we're talking about and Werner Herzog, and yet somehow he just pops up.
He fits right in.
Yeah. Arcane Flame says, so is there a shared Let Me Listen universe? If there is a shared Let Me Listen universe, does that mean Bob Wilkins and American Monsters are canon with the Ensigns log?
No, they're not shared. They're not shared.
It's not a shared universe?
It's not a shared universe. Steve and I share a universe with Opinionville
and Stuffy, yeah.
And Stuffy.
Yeah.
If I wanted to make a shared universe, I would want to create it out of whole cloth, I think. And not link such a massive franchise like Star Trek to something. I mean, Steve knows that I can't stop thinking about doing new shows.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are other shows that I propose, but I never thought of them as being interconnected. I like them living in their own space.
I didn't know that Opinionville was a shared universe with the stuff.
Yeah, we've done a couple of little crossovers here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nothing major,
but yeah.
Nothing major yet.
No. We actually the last time, I think the last time we did an on-camera crossover was when I asked you to do what's his name, the huckster guy. Bunk, yeah. He appears in a Stuffy video from a couple years ago, trying to upsell me a masturbation aid.
That's right.
Because I call it's a telemedicine thing. He's like a doctor. And I call him because I have like a spot on my arm. It's like a suspicious.
And Dr. Hamilton Bunk.
Hamilton Bunk, yeah. And
Hamilton Bunk.
And he's like, it sounds like you're jerking off backwards too much. I can sell you a masturbation aid of my own design. It'll fix you right up. And I'm like, that's not what I want. I'm not buying that from you. And he's like, he keeps pushing it. That was really fun. The sham vag.
That's right. The sham vag. Oh, God.
Oh, yes. When we, because, Dana and I are writing new Stuffy episodes right now. Actually, and I say that, and Dana's done all of the writing so far, but technically she and I are
there's very, very little because
we're. But what has been written is so good. So yeah, there's opportunity there for future Opinionville crossovers. Oswald will just show up someday.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. That's me, great. Oswald.
Oh boy, that's so off. I love it.
It's like the worst Oswald ever.
I love hearing people doing my characters. I love it.
Oswald, it's me. Yeah. Radical Bacon still pushing the D&D thing.
Good for her.
You want to build? Good for them.
Good for them. I'm sorry.
You want to build a world, Jason, like in D&D?
Yeah, like in D&D, where you have control over the entire environment. You can decide what the townspeople are like. Who's mean? Who's good? Are they under the influence of a spell? How does that affect the region around it? Are the crops healthy, or are they withering on the vine? Is there a wizard nearby that possibly could help? Are there trolls living at the base of the mountain that routinely come in and attack? And how are your characters going to act and interact with this lush landscape that you've created? You be quiet. You have nothing to add to this.
Nothing effective anyway. So Jason, what's your favorite setting? Favorite system and setting?
Oh, I haven't done it in so long. I mean, I created 4 in Pathfinder. And then I haven't done another one since I was about 3 years ago. When I was actually doing a D&D podcast on Let Me Finish. Or let me listen.
Yeah, 3 for Adventure, right?
3 for Adventure, yeah. Which I doubt you even listened to once.
I tried to listen to like the first couple minutes of it, and I just couldn't do it.
And you went, no!
I screamed. I was like, oh God, no, I can't do it.
People having fun together playing a game!
No! Fun. That's why he likes baseball, because he hates fun.
Hey, Jason likes baseball too. You better watch it.
I do like baseball.
I'm sorry, Jason.
Oh, she
apologizes to Jason. You can badmouth baseball in front of me all the time, and I just don't. It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me either. It doesn't. It doesn't.
Questions, Steve?
Doesn't bother me at all. Radical Bacon wants to know, what if Oswald shows up on the Ensign's log?
Well, here's the thing. I do a lot of voices in the course of an Ensign's log. I've tried to avoid doing any of the character voices from Opinionville.
Yeah.
Which does limit me a little bit, but I will do it if I think it's funny.
It's me, Captain Fundy Monster.
Or I'll just have Steve try to do one of my character voices, and then I'll find it hilarious.
Captain of the USS First Monstitarian Church. That's my Fundy Monster. That's my Fundy Monster impression.
Do you want me to do Stuffy to you?
That's not a bad Stuffy.
Well, yeah. If you die, I'll take it over. People will go, it's off, but
I can get used to it.
It's like when Hansen died.
You might have to fight me for it.
What?
You might have to fight me for it.
You do a pretty good one, too.
Everybody does a Stuffy.
Steve, I would appreciate it if you didn't masturbate in the kitchen.
Oh, that sounds like too much like the real guy. I'm trying to eat. Do you mind?
At least close the refrigerator first.
At least close the refrigerator first.
It's a horrible waste of energy.
And the food gets warm when it's supposed to be cold.
Also, you fling.
Oh, God. You're going to have to put me in a pillowcase and wash me again. I can't live like this. We've been over this. I asked you when you moved out, I asked you if it's going to be this way, and you said no. You promised. You said no. I said, okay, then I'll come along. Have you kept that promise?
I have to wear slippers in a carpeted house.
Oh, God. Why do I have to do that?
I know I have to do that, and I don't like it, Steve.
It's not a good... This isn't how I pictured my life going. Radical Bacon wants to know, is Steve officially a bachelor in the Steve and Stuffy verse? Yes.
That doesn't have anything to do with our show.
It doesn't at all. Although Ellsworth Toohey says Stuffy is the new Spot. Hello, gentlemen.
Oh no! You can't be evil.
I'm Stuffy the unspeakably evil.
I've killed millions and millions of people.
My name is feared across the cosmos.
Coco?
So anyway, we've been going for 2 hours. How much longer do you want to go?
Until they're dry.
Until they're dry. Duralta Trekkie says, what if Steve and Stuffy show up in the Ensign's log? I feel like that's too much cross-pollination.
Yeah, that'd be too much. Yeah.
If we're not doing Opinionville, we're not doing Steve and Stuffy in the Ensign's log either. I mean, yeah.
It'd be funny.
It would be, yeah, sure. I don't know, but the other thing is, I don't know. I mean, the Ensign's log has built up its. I mean, it like the audience of the Ensign's log is the audience of the Ensign's log, and I know I'm sure there are people who listen to our show who also know about Opinionville and know about Stuffy, but yeah. I wouldn't, just want to presume that like everybody is in on the joke. People might be like, "What the hell was that?" Like they started doing voices like we were supposed to know who they were.
Mm-hmm. In the episode where Steve goes crazy and names the Tribble Jason.
Yes.
Originally, that Tribble was going to be part of the show from that point forward, but it was funnier to kill it. So we killed it.
And in a very satisfying way as well.
Yeah.
That was so much fun to play. That was so much fun to play.
But I had plans for that Tribble. That I just tossed it out the window as soon as I saw something funny in the episode. Because eventually that Tribble was going to talk. And maybe he turned into Stuffy. Who knows?
Okay. Radical Bacon wins because they say trials and Tribble Jasons.
Oh, I like that.
Me too.
Well played. Well played.
James Stoddard asks Dana, and I guess we'll open this up not just to Ensign's log, but to your actual theater work. Dana, what is your favorite character that you've played, and what character do you want to play?
Well, Ensign's log was Lenore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss getting to play Lenore because we're moving ahead, and she's not an ensign. She wasn't there when some dumbass pushed the panic button.
It was an accident.
It was an accident. We were having a fight.
There are a lot of those around you guys. Anyway, probably my favorite character was when I was in the Mysterious Spirit Styles, where I got to play one of the murderers. So it's always fun to play the bad guy. It just really is. If I was gonna play just any character, probably Mark Antony. Got some great lines. Really nice in Julius, not in Antony and Cleopatra, but in Julius Caesar. There's just a nice development of the character. You get to see the ascent to power, and some lovely lines. And the company that I did 1984 with had actually done Julius Caesar the previous summer. But it's hard to do summer shows with them because that's actually down where I work, which is it's like a 35 to 40 minute drive. Just they're also at the other end of town, so it's past where I work, so it's a bit of a drive. So I chose. Plus, there was a closer theater doing Mamma Mia, which I love, so I did that instead. But that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, that's off the top of my head.
James Stoddard says, Dana, you should play Khan.
Is Khan going to be on the show?
Probably not.
Okay, well then I won't.
I wouldn't. Jason, is Khan going to be on the show?
No,
I wouldn't think so.
I didn't think so. Francois Lacombe has a good question that will presumably be answered.
Thanks for the save, Dana.
Oh, God.
What?
Francois Lacombe wants to know, why didn't the panic button follow us to the 24th century?
Because I didn't want it to.
There you go.
Because we wanted to get rid of that plot albatross around our neck.
Plot crutch, yeah.
Miles Mulholland says, for you, Jason, would you let fans do voice cameos scripted by you on the show in return for Patreon support? That would be awesome.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I could offer that up. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. You need to make sure that you have the correct audio. It would probably determine how it appear. I can always make compensation for bad audio by making it a comm call. Yeah. If someone calls in on the comm, then the audio doesn't have to be perfect. So I did that with a lot with American Monsters. The reason why it was a call-in show and the interviews were by phone was because not everyone would have the same level of recording equipment. But I think that's a really good idea, actually.
And that's Jason, are you familiar with Zombies Run?
By the way, this is to answer an earlier question from Radical Bacon that Steve never bothered to ask, which is, do I have cats? Yes, I do. I have 3 cats and 2 dogs.
Jason, are you familiar with Zombies Run?
No.
Okay. It's an audio app, and they had some fan submission stuff that they then incorporated into the app. But it was exactly what you said. It was they did a call into the radio show that they had, and so it was so if you guys if the Ensigns did a call in to the new version, if they had something like that, we would have call-ins to the podcast.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
And Radical Bacon says I have a blue snowball. Which is not a great microphone, but it's okay. That is literally the exact microphone that Dana uses. So
that's correct.
Even though ironically, it's not actually blue.
No, confusing. Confusing.
It's kind of scary looking. Let's be honest.
When it's on.
The evil from Portal. It's got this. No, not. Where is it from? Oh, yeah, it looks like Otto from WALL-E with that glaring red eye.
Oh yeah, I remember that character. To answer Radical Bacon's question about our analytics are great.
Yeah.
Right now. We have doubled the number of listens for our shows every year since about 2014. So, for example, in 2018, we only had 112,000. And now we're running last year, which is the last analytics I have for the entire year. We're at 250,000 a year. So we do have a healthy listenership. It's not like in the millions. I'm not looking for it to be in the millions necessarily. But we've been doing very well. It's a sweep up rather than a peak and then going back down again. And you know, we run I don't know. I think in total it's almost 1 million since we started Let Me Listen. So it's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, people actually listen to the show, which is great. It's awesome.
Imagine that.
I know, right? Dana Arcane Flame says, with your Shakespearean knowledge and experience, you would make a good General Chang. Which I don't think you've seen that movie, have you? Star Trek 6?
I have not. But like that's yeah. Somebody did the General Chang because he has one of Antony's lines, cry havoc and let slip the dog to war. And somebody did that, and I guess they were going for General Chang, and I just remember thinking, that's a little bit over the top, but whatever.
Yeah.
You're Antony your way. And then I was just like, later I was like, oh, they were doing it the way this guy does it. So that guy does it over the top.
Christopher Plummer is that guy, or was. Now he's dead.
Yeah. But I mean, and in fairness, he's not doing Mark Antony. He's doing General Chang is Mark Antony, which is fine. I'm like,
that's during it's during his Shakespeare quote spree near the end when he's just throwing out every Shakespeare line he can remember because he senses the end is near. Can you give us if I give you the dialogue, can you give us a line of Shakespeare in Klingon?
No.
She doesn't know Klingon.
I'm gonna tell her what it is. It's the Klingon, because I don't know Klingon either, but I remember the movie. The Klingon version of "To Be or Not to Be," "Tak bak, tak bek,"
which, by the way, made the person that was compiling the Klingon dictionary for publication, they just had decided that there would be no "to be." They had to come up with it for the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Tak bak, tak bek.
That's good.
It's introspective. It's, that it doesn't really work in Klingon because Klingon is so spitty.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be.
But they tend to be very forceful, and like Hamlet, first of all, as a play as a whole, except for about 3.5 minutes at the end, it's very introspective. Now those 3.5 minutes, they accomplish a lot.
Yeah, Macbeth is more of a Klingon.
Yes,
Klingon story. Yeah.
I'm sure they love Titus Andronicus.
I think we talked about that before. Titus Andronicus is like the only Shakespeare that the Klingons are really like super into. They're like, oh, we like this one. Like, this was written by a Klingon.
Rocks fall, everyone dies, except they all kill each other. The rocks kill each other. Yes.
Maylee wants to know who did the drawing of Jason and Steve. That is the logo for the show.
I did.
Yeah.
Steve doesn't really. He just shows up.
I don't do any. I've told people this before when I talk about the pie. I literally the sum total of my contribution to both of the podcasts that I am on with you is I sit down in front of this microphone right here and I run my mouth. And
which is gold.
And I record it and I send it to you and I'm like, there you go.
Right. Yeah.
And then you actually do the work and make it into a show.
He's like that with friendships too.
Yeah, exactly like that.
No, now you do more. Because now you take the audio that I upload and you send it to Jason.
Oh, that's true.
That's true. I do that too. So So really, I do most of the work. I mean, when you think about it.
Oh boy. Oh, it's really sad what's going to happen to Steve Johnson.
When you say
What do you mean he's mute? Oh, he can only bang on this pot with a ladle? Oh, okay.
Wait a minute. I'm in a beef chair now? Oh, irony of ironies. Oh, cruel fate.
And he is on the Yamato. He's not with us here.
Hey,
on the
wait a
Enterprise.
minute. The ship is starting to malfunction.
What's a ship that got destroyed at Wolf?
Oh God!
The
the
327.
what was the? Excuse me. Wolf 359.
359. The Kyushu.
The Kyushu.
The Yorktown.
The Melbourne.
The Melbourne. Yeah, that's it.
The Melbourne was the Admiral ship. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Radical Bacon says a beef chair. No, that's the chair I have in the shower. That's the chair I keep in the shower, and I have to replace it every few weeks because it runs out.
That's the nickname for the toilet.
The beef chair.
Mm-hmm.
Maley wants to know, Jason, do you know which countries our listeners are from?
I can look up that information. I do get analytics from that, and I can tell you that the majority of the listeners are from the United States, but we also have in there the United Kingdom, which comes in second, Canada, which comes in third, and I don't know if I can pull all of the countries. Oh, yeah, I can. Look at that. Germany, Australia, the Netherlands, Mexico, Denmark, and these are significant numbers. New Zealand, Sweden, Poland, Brazil, Finland, Hungary, Norway, France, Ireland. Yeah, we have a lot. The lowest one, lowest one is the Philippines. So yeah, we do have a lot.
Come on, Philippines, get in the game.
Yeah, get your head in the game. I don't know how I'm gonna attract a more Pinoy audience, but I can try.
I've been telling you that for years.
I know, you've been on me. Just give it a rest.
Jumping all over you about the Filipino
we're wondering why there's no slash Nick.
CMAC points out the Melbourne was one of the ships that was offered Riker. Yes, he was.
That's right.
Yeah, good thing he didn't take that promotion.
Who would have died? It's a good thing he held out for the Titan.
Maybe if he'd been the captain, things would have gone different.
He would have turned around and left when that Borg cube showed up. Like, nope, fuck this. I'm out. I just got this baby. I'm not fighting Borg. No.
Oh, darn. I have to kill my captain. I become captain of the ship that I've wanted to be captain of.
Oh, darn. Anybody else notice he already has the 4th rank pip on his collar? He hasn't even officially been promoted yet.
He pins it on right before he says fire.
He just...
Fire.
Like a yeoman brings it to him and he's like, oh, thank you. Fire.
Now walk out backwards. It's on a platter.
Now walk out backwards. More deferential now. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Dip the head.
Duralta Trekkie has a request for you, Dana. Now that you have showed off your Shakespeare bona fides, Duralta Trekkie wants an impromptu puck from you. If we shadows have offended, etc., etc. So just do the whole speech from memory.
Oh, okay. Well,
just do the whole Shakespeare soliloquy from memory.
Old Jason, been
Aww.
an actor for God knows how long.
If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here while these visions did appear, and this weak and idle theme, no more yielding, but a dream. Gentles, do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend. I'll just stop it.
Gold. Jason, do you have a Shakespeare speech that you would like to share with the audience?
Certainly. I'll do the opening speech
or that you would like to look up on Google.
to Richard III.
Ooh, please.
When I played Richard III.
Is he an important character?
It's been a very long time, but
were there 5 curtain calls?
No, I don't know. It's been so goddamn long.
I played Richard III. There were 5 curtain calls.
Curtain calls.
Now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by this son of York, and all the clouds are lowered upon our house what is the wording? I want to jump to deep. I think it's in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now are our brows bound with victorious wreaths, our bruised arms hung up for monuments, our stern alarums changed to merry meetings, our dreadful marches to delightful measures. Grim-visaged war hath smoothed his... Oh, come on. Smoothed his wrinkled front. This is going to get worse as I go on. And now, instead of mounting barbed steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber, to the lascivious plucking of a lute. And that's where it dries up. It's been 30 years.
That's amazing that you got all that from memory, though. That's
it's, when you do it over and over and over and over again, eventually it gets washed out of your brain because your brain says, no, you don't need this anymore. But yeah.
Steve?
Now it's my turn. Okay, hang on. I need to look this up because I don't have it off the top of my head, but I know exactly what I want to do.
I have a guess, but go ahead.
Well,
and are you going to?
It's not the St. Crispin's Day speech, but it is from Henry V.
Okay.
Yes, but are you gonna?
Are you gonna do it from heart, or are you gonna?
No, I can't. I don't know it. I don't know it by heart.
No. That's not what I was gonna ask.
Are you gonna? Do you want me to do it as Jack?
Yeah.
Okay, I will do it as Jack. Okay. Jack McPherson, a Stephen Stuffy character, a Stuffy and Friends character, I should say. So the scene, this is from Henry V, Act 1, Scene 2. And the scene is that King Henry has just been brought a sarcastic gift from the French Dauphin, a gift of tennis balls. That is a great insult to King Henry. So he is now speaking to the messenger who came on behalf of the Dauphin. So this is this speech. Henry V, as played by Jack McPherson. We are glad the Dauphin is so pleasant with us. His present and your pains we thank you for. When we have matched our rackets to these balls, we will in France, by God's grace, play a set shall strike his father's crown into the hazard. Tell him he hath made a match with such a wrangler that all the courts of France will be disturbed with chases. And we understand him well, how he comes o'er us with our wilder days, not measuring what use we made of them. We never valued this poor seat of England, and therefore living hence did give ourselves to barbarous license, as 'tis ever common that men are merriest when they are far from home. But tell the Dauphin, I will keep my state, be like a king, and show myself of greatness when I do rouse me in my throne of France. For that I have laid by my majesty and plotted like a man for working days. But I will rise there with so full of glory that I will dazzle all the eyes of France, yea, strike the Dauphin blind to look on us. And tell the pleasant prince this mock of his hath turned his balls to gunstones, and his soul shall stand sore charged for the wasteful vengeance that shall fly with them. For many 1,000 widows shall this mock out of their dear husbands, mock mothers from their sons, mock castles down. And some are yet ungotten and unborn that shall have cause to curse the Dauphin's scorn. So get you hence in peace, and tell the Dauphin his jest will savour but of shallow wit, when thousands weep more than did laugh at it. Convey them with safe conduct. Fare you well. End scene.
Friday night, I witnessed a rare performance of Henry V by a tiny drunken teddy bear.
Exactly. Yeah, and some random geek with the joke from the actual video. That is great. Did you write it? That was the joke that my dipshit character says in the video of that. Yeah. Like, that was really good, Stuffy. Did you write that? Yeah.
I
So
think we're reciting Shakespeare now.
yeah, are we? Is it time to go?
We've taken a left turn at Albuquerque pretty sharply.
Yeah. No. Yeah. We have to go now because Andrei Kriskovich just requested Stuffy as King Lear. No, we're not doing that. That's we're good. We're good.
Come on, Stuffy would totally be Cordelia.
I would like to thank everybody who's made season 3 a success, and for the people who've stuck with us for 3 years, thank you. Doing this show is one of my favorite things to do, and I'm glad that you guys appreciate what we're doing, and I hope you join us for season 4. There's going to be a lot of changes as far as the show goes, but I mean, it's still at its heart going to be two idiots in space. And I like to take this opportunity right now because I don't get an opportunity to say it all that often. Steve does, because he mentions the show all the time on his YouTube program, that I am very blessed to have these two people helping me bring this show to the public and for eager consumption. This show would not exist without Steve. I would not have done it had Steve said no. And I'm lucky that Steve is basically I know we've made a lot of jokes about him not doing anything, but if I didn't have him, the show wouldn't have worked. And I'm glad that Dana is with us because it fills us out, and now the show feels complete. And I want to thank Dana for joining us and overcoming all of her, being hesitant and afraid. And
At least enough. I mean, it ain't overcome yet, that's for sure. But
But especially you guys for being here today and for continuing to support the show. Thanks. And thanks for the good ideas too, Steve.
Yeah, we're nice totally stealing those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've reiterated what I've said before, which is, I mean, the Ensign's log, for as long as we've been doing it, the Ensign's log has been one of my favorite things that I do. It's a joy to get together every 2 weeks and record it. It's always fun. It's always interesting. It has never been something where I've been like, oh God, I've got to do the Ensign's log today. Like, it's always something I look forward to. And a lot of it is getting to play with you, Jason, because I love working with you, and we're like best friends in real life. And I mean, you're one of my favorite people, and I love getting to do something creative with you. And it's, it's us working together, and it's Star Trek, and it's like, I mean, come on, what's not to love? And this year having Dana with us has been wonderful. I think I agree. She has absolutely brought the show up. It's been wonderful for me to work with Dana because she and I go back a long way. And whenever she and I get to do creative stuff together, it's always a joy. And having the three of us do things together as to make a show together is just, I mean, like, what more could I ask for? It's one of my favorite things. And yeah, thanks to everybody who has listened to the show, who has come to this tonight and asked such awesome questions and made suggestions and joined us and had fun with us and played with us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So yeah, anyway, Dana, would you like to say anything?
So thank you guys so much for having me on the show. It's been lots and lots of fun. It's been terribly, well, no, not terribly. It's been moderately stressful. It's not nearly as stressful as like real life is, God knows. But it's nice having a different outlet for my stress. But it's been, because it's a creative kind of stress, like, okay, what am I going to do? And, trying to think through things, and then, thinking about it later, being like, poop, I should have said that. And just, and playing, being silly together and coming up with a story together. And yeah, it's just so much fun, and I like it. And I'm so glad that other people like it too, and that we get to do it and we get to share it. One of the things that I tell my students is that I believe that we have, that as humans, that we have an instinct to create and share stories. And that's what I get to do with you guys. And it's a lot of fun. And I'm so glad that I get to keep doing it. Yay.
Yep. So Jason, how long until we start season 4?
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks. There you go. To season 4. We'll see you in season 4, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Take care.
See you in the stars, everybody.
Aw.